Today's the day you were waiting for. How do I load two beautiful, beautiful machines into this bus right here? So as we talked about a little bit in the previous video, the handicap ramp that comes with the bus, the wheelchair ramp that comes with the bus, is not long enough. So we have to make an extension. And I'll be honest with you, I'm currently still working out some ideas for the extension. This is not the original ramp we went with. The original ramp was a wider ramp so that I could be on the same surface as the bike. I could stand next to it on the same surface as opposed to the bike being on that ramp with my feet being on the handicap ramp. And that ramp was mounted to the bumper with those brackets that you saw in the last video that I said we would talk about. But that ramp is long gone. That was not the best option. It was too hard to store, too hard to bolt to the rear bumper. This ramp is the best option. So I'll cut in a picture here what it looks like in storage on the rear bumper. That's really simple. It fits over the rear bumper like a channel. You'll see the underside of the ramp. It just clamps around the rear bumper. The same two bolts that are holding it to the, ignore my lubricant from drilling those holes yesterday. The same two bolts that are holding it to the wheelchair ramp go through the bumper and then wing nuts down lock washers, and it stays on there solid. And we transport the ramp right on the bumper of the bus. Check out that picture. All right, so now for loading the bikes, this is the ramp we're going to use. Much cheaper than one of those motorcycle trailer channels that you would see after trying to get ripped off on Craigslist for a couple of them. People asking damn near what one would cost brand new on e-trailer. We went with this Harbor Freight ramp. So what I'd like to do is flip this ramp upside down and use it like a channel to drive the tire into. The only reason we won't be doing that for today's video is that channel is barely big enough to fit the tire in. There is marginal room for error. And the sides of the channel right there aren't sharp. It's just still not something I want to mess with. So I'll line the sides of that channel with fuel line or a vacuum hose or something that I can split right down the middle and slide along that edge, kind of the same way we did the pool noodle over the TV. So for today's purpose, to show you how we get a bike in there, how to use the Pitbull trailer restraint system, we'll be loading the bikes with the ramp like this. Only downside to doing it like this is I'm filming this in my high school parking lot again, and I did not bring the actual lips to make that a smooth transition. So we're pushing the bike up a small bump there, but it's not sharp. We'll be fine. We're only doing it for today's video. So let's get to the fun stuff. Let's put this 2005 Gsxr 1000 and this 2008 Gsxr into this 03 Ford F450 bus. Let's go. So what you're seeing here are all the parts to the Pitbull trailer restraint system, which, so that we don't have the same drinking game we had in the last video and I don't have to keep saying it 20 times and you guys take a shot every time I say it, we'll just refer to it as the TRS from now on, because you know what that stands for. So these are the cleats, and they clip into the plates that you've seen on the floor before. That piece right there goes around the axle like this, or around the tire through the axle like this. In this picture, this is how it's, I don't want to say supposed to be mounted, but how it's more traditionally used, where the system comes off the back of the tire. I will be using it like this, where the system is coming off forward of the rear tire and rolling forwards into the cleats. So that is the Pitbull trailer restraint system and a little bit about how it works. And then it's held into the axle through these pins. And we're going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to try to do it one person so that the Gsxr rider can video this. So hopefully I don't drop my bike and look like an idiot on YouTube. right, so now it's in the bus. And what we did off camera was we had to shimmy it to the second position. So if I had to say there's one flaw to the design of how I built the bus to carry 2 bikes, or to using the handicap ramp, the wheelchair ramp, because if you came in the back, you could put them in straight. This would be less of a problem. But to utilize that ramp, because this door isn't wide enough, and I don't feel like modding the structure, you know, the body of the bus, you have to either bring them in and make a very hard, nearly impossible to do with one person, right turn to get the bikes the same direction as the bus, or you can take the approach we're taking. So we load the bike up, we bury the front wheel in the corner up there next to the Yukon, facing the Yukon, and then one person has to, and it can be done with one person with the kickstand down, take the back tire and basically lift it and shimmy it past the arm of the wheelchair ramp and get the bike on that side of the ramp. So I'm not going to tell you it's easy, but it's not hard. It can be done with one person. The good news is it never has to be done with one person. If you're one person loading one bike, you just simply put your bike in the front spot, which is straight ahead, no issues. So for example, when we leave for the Tail of the Dragon, I'll load my bike up at my house. It'll be in that spot there. When I get to Scott's house, we will shimmy my bike over into the second spot. Scott's bike goes into the first spot. Easy, done. So now we're going to show you how to use the Pitbull trailer restraint system. We're a little set up for it already, but this is what I was talking about. So the idea with the Pitbull trailer restraint system is simple one-person loading without strapping down the front to load your suspension. Many people will probably say, oh, I would still strap the front even after. I'm telling you, I've been using this product for over 10 years on unenclosed trailers, cheap carry-on trailers from Tractor Supply and Lowe's, you know, $400 trailers, putting down some wood, reinforcing the wood, installing this correctly. In those setups, the system was hanging off the back of the bike, so to speak, the way it's supposed to, you know, coming out that direction, not this one. But I've forgotten to lock one cleat down and made it home, you know, 45 minutes from New Jersey Motorsports Park to Tabernacle with no trouble. One cleat holding it down. There's a story of a guy who was a mechanic at the, I shouldn't say mechanic, that's downplaying that guy's suspension genius, but there's a story of a guy who raced AMA, worked for the track day organization I used to do, who forgot to put down one cleat and drove all the way home from Daytona, Florida to New Jersey. Actually, I think he lived in Mechanicsburg, PA, but same thing. Whole trip, one cleat, no trouble. Bike never fell over. So this system is tough. Shout out to Pitbull for putting together a really amazing product that, as far as I know, this is the original design. This thing's been going strong for years. So let's get it locked up.
Okay, so as you may have noticed, this is not the same time that the rest of the video was shot. This is actually the next day. But there was a little technology problem that caused us to lose a little bit of the video where we showed how the Pitbull system locks down. So I'm just going to go over that real quick. It should just take a minute or so, and I'll cut it in, and you won't even notice that it happened. So if you can picture this on the back wheel of the bike, as we roll the bike forward, it locks into spot there on the cleats, and then you just clamp that down, put this pin through. You do that on both sides. Now at the time of the video, I shook the bike side to side and sat on it and, you know, pushed the brake, pushed the forward, pushed it backwards to show you that it's amazingly sturdy. Absolutely no need to strap down the front or anywhere else in the bike. This right there will get you all the way home. And like I said, there's been stories of people only clamping down one side and it holding a bike like this the whole way. So in a nutshell, this is the TRS. That's how it works, and that's how our bikes will travel in the bus.